Hello, good morning. It's probably noon soon. I am Debbie, Dvora, this is my name. This is not my first video, however, it will probably be the first video Gaya will put on YouTube. Well, you see, I've recorded quite a few, and in some of them I've used music. I've put music on in the background and there are creators' rights. So until Gaya will learn how to edit videos and erase those parts, we cannot use most of my videos. So I'm just making a new one. It's the introduction video, and later on, after Gaya will know how to edit. So I am Dvora. Things already happened here, and you might be hearing other channelers speaking about me because they've seen the videos in Gaya's computer. And so if you'll hear all kinds of conversations about Dvora, you'll understand why. I am a channeler. Deborah is one of the Hebrew prophets got this name, and it kind of affects my karma in life. This is what I do. I'm a channeler. I teach channeling too. I'm a teacher for channeling. When I heard about this panel that Gaya is organizing here, I thought it would be a great idea to take part of it. I like the idea that it's like a theater, and it's a Messiah theater, and it makes things a little bit lighter, although once you'll see my videos, you'll understand that I am quite a serious person, and I take those spiritual issues very seriously, sometimes too much. I'm aware of that. People even mention it in my ears. So, as a person, I've been seeking for the answers all of my life, the answers, the big ones. And I've seeked everywhere, including most of the known religions. I found my answers eventually. I can say that it wasn't what I was expecting, however, some of it was. So yes, I don't use the term enlightened at all. I don't even use the term awaken. It's a problematic term, and too many people are considering themselves awaken, and others disagree. And the idea of awakened person, the term a Buddha, is problematic to begin with. So I think that the best definition is someone on a journey, a spiritual journey, a consciousness journey that had the shift, either the shift or went through the enlightenment or went in the Pardes, okay? Went in the secret, into the dimension of the secret. So yeah, I've been in the Pardes more than once and for long times, and I consider myself a specialist for consciousness. Now, channeling is not exactly what I do. Channeling is what I've done all of my life. But after you are shifted, it goes beyond channeling. So I still call it channeling, but it went beyond that, way beyond that. So I practice, this is what I teach, this is what I do for a living, okay? If I had another choice to make a living out of something else, I would. At the moment, this is my occupation, so I teach channeling. Even though once you'll hear me speaking about channeling, you'll start wondering if channeling exists, and I teach channeling. I have deeper explanations about the whole process. I'll probably be sharing that knowledge later. I've been experiencing very, very strong mystical experiences, and including mystical experience that involved all kinds of entities, okay, including Jesus. So I have things to say, and I know it might irritate people, like a woman that came here. There's a new one, a new channeler, Maria. It's not on YouTube yet. The nun, there's a Christian nun here. Yeah, she doesn't like me too much, and it's okay. It's okay. So anyway, I'll make it as the first video, you know, just introduction, even though there are like, I don't know, at least 8 videos on the Gaya's computer. It's just we cannot use them yet. Each one of them have done something wrong. Okay. So I'm also an activist for legalization of cannabis. I see it as an amazing medicine. Israel is kind of leading with the research of cannabis, and they are getting closer to find cure for cancer with that. The right ingredients from this plant in the right amount, they'll find a cure for cancer. At least some of the cancers, you know, there are all types. So this is where they're heading, the Israelis. And I think legalization is needed, complete legalization. They kind of, you know, unleashed the rope a little bit with it being like a medicine now, the doctors are giving it. However, you need full legalization. It's good for the energy of this country too. It's a country that's known for the energy of war and soldiers. Cannabis is a good balance to this. Alcohol is not the right drug to such a hot country that is so stressful. People are so stressful here. Alcohol is not the right drug for this country. It should be legal like it is, but people should use less and less alcohol, and if they are consuming a drug, it should be cannabis. It is balancing the energy in this area, and cannabis is a high frequency drug, so if you are using one, at least use a good one, and most likely it's not addictive or harmful in any way. So I am part of a movement that is actually fighting, protesting for legalization of cannabis in Israel. We do what we can. It's going well. It's going well. Yeah, many things have been said here, you know. I don't know where to begin because I've already said so many things, you know. Like starting over. In part of the videos, I speak with a lot of anger, but it's only because I care. If I wouldn't care, I wouldn't do that. Gaya is starting something very unique here. I like what she's doing here. I like her art. I like Gaya. Gaya is different. She's not an ordinary person. She has some disabilities. She's also autistic. She's channeling with us telepathically. She's channeling with animals too. She's a telepath. She has a very, very high channeling abilities. Her behavior is not ordinary, so we are here to give her a hand. She has the knowledge, she has everything, but she is not normal. She doesn't look normal, she doesn't behave normal, she's autistic. Having difficulties to speak. So we are here, actually, we help. She's organizing everything. I think she's doing a good job. Whatever will come out of it, I hope it will be good for everyone. And I hope that the knowledge that will be delivered here will contribute to people, especially on the process of enlightenment, Satori, you can call it entering the path, shift, call it whatever you want, okay? About this process, awakeness, shift, the experience itself, the mystical experience. There are many names for it, and there are all kinds of volumes to it, okay? Sometimes you have like a small one or a few small ones, and sometimes you have it full volume and it lasts for a long time and it's on full volume, including the nirvana that the Buddha spoke about, and including all kinds of things. Part of them are at the moment will belong to the section of science fiction, okay? And it's not science fiction, but this is where it belongs at the moment. This is why some people go crazy. There is the famous story about the Pardes, you know, entering the Pardes, entering the secret. The Pardes is the Hebrew version of Satori. It's the Hebrew name. So there's the famous story, and one of the four people that went inside the Pardes, and one of them went crazy. Why? Because things happens there in this different stage of consciousness, and sometimes the psychological structure is incapable of handling the experience, and especially if the person was not a spiritualist before, not a philosopher before, and it just happened to him or her, good chances they'll be lost, good chances. And I think this is the main cause, the main reason that Gaya created this panel of channelers that she called it the Messiah Theater, but the idea is to inform, okay, because you can find the knowledge now, it's just, you need to know where to look, and it's going to take a long time to find the pieces of knowledge you need if you are going through that. What was important to Gaya to do here in this panel, she told us, you know, do whatever you want, but there is one specific thing that this whole panel it was created for, this whole Messiah Theater. Gaya has a sense of a need, an actual need to deliver a message to the people that are going through the enlightenment or the shift, or why you have so many teachers and so many things that relate to how to wake up. It doesn't work. They didn't find a way. Otherwise, it would, you know, you'll see Buddhas everywhere, and you don't. But there are many teachers. However, you can hardly find any information about what's going on during the shift and after the shift, and what to do with it. So most of the people, even today, when you have so much knowledge and it's open on YouTube, most of the people, it comes to them in surprise. The shift is not something you can plan and work hard and it will happen. No, it happens by surprise. It happens when you don't wait for it. It happens it always happens by surprise. So once it happens to them, they don't know what is happening. So even today when we have computers and they can go and search on Google, still will be very difficult to find the knowledge to what to do after. And there are some philosophers and spiritual teachers that are mentioning things, but you need to listen to 300 hours of lectures that in one of the lectures you find a few lines that involve the knowledge that you need. So we're trying to actually concentrate the needed knowledge about the shift itself and about what might happen, like people that are actually lost, and many people become suicidal. It's not enlightenment, just enlightenment. There is enlightenment, but there are all kinds of other things involved, okay? So some people become suicidal, some people go crazy, some people, all kinds of things happens to them, okay? So syndromes, all kinds of syndromes you might have. So we'll try to explain as much as we can those things. It's all stories, it's going to be problematic to begin with, to speak about it. But this is what everyone else is saying, and this is why nobody speaks about it. And eventually, at least once a day, someone is shifted in Israel. At least. Probably 2 or 3 people a day. It's a very small country, but a lot of shifts. I believe 3, maybe even 4 people every day in Israel. Most of them arrive to psychiatrists because they don't know what it is at all, The whole perception of reality changes. They don't know what happened to them. So it is time now to speak about this knowledge with all of there's a reason why people did not share this knowledge so far, or hardly, or only to their closest student, not out loud, okay? There's a reason. Many reasons. However, in our times, when so many people are shifted, and they're shifted alone, no teacher, and they don't know what happened to them, better to take a risk with let's say the disadvantages that might happen from speaking about it. There are more advantages than disadvantages, and too many people wakes up now. So you actually need to help those that are shifted. Instead of trying to help people to wake up, humanity needs to help those that were already shifted and need some guidance, because there are hardly any. Yeah, you'll hardly have where to go. If you're shifted, especially in Israel, let's say that you'll go through this shift, you'll need some help, you'll need someone to speak to, I don't think you can find anyone. There's no one to turn to. And those that claims to be enlightened, or the few ones, most of the time, you're not going to find the answer there. Actually needs to, because so many people are shifted in Israel, I thought about it, and maybe I'll help doing it if there'll be others, but you actually need to create like a school to the awakeness of the consciousness in Israel, like a kibbutz, something in a kibbutz that people can come and live there and receive all of the shifted ones, because most of them just reach psychiatrists and all kinds of things like that. Now we're talking about at least 1,000 a year, probably more. So this is something that the health department should sponsor. A center to the awakeness of the consciousness, but it will be a spiritual center, not a hospital or anything, a spiritual center to receive those people that are going through this shift. and help them, and those people can become great teachers to humanity if someone will help them be balanced. At the moment, out of a very strong urge to deliver messages, many of them just become homeless and they just preach on the streets. Tel Aviv is full of them. More than in Jerusalem, you'll have in Tel Aviv. The messiahs, preachers. It's a pity. Because no one listens to them, and people spit on them, and people curse them and think they're crazy, and some of them are brilliant. So if someone would help them get the right perspective, because it's their first shift, and most likely they didn't know anything about it before. It just happened to them from some reason, sometimes a trauma. And they are lost. And it's a pity. It's a pity. It's sometimes one conversation with someone that understands what's going on will be enough to help these people put his feedback on the ground. All of those Jesus, Messiah syndrome, Jesus syndrome, Shiva syndrome, Neo syndrome, you have so many. With instructions, with the knowledge that they are missing, you can help them put their feet on the ground and do something good with their shift and not just become weirdos. Weirdos, you always be a weirdo. The question is, how much of a weirdo, you know? In what volume? You're not gonna be normal once you're shifted. Normal. It's not part of your life anymore. You are not normal and you cannot deal with normal people. Not too much. Little bit. So, okay, this video, I think I'll end it, and I'll ask Gaya what to do if to continue another one. I just wanted to give a first introduction, and I don't want to be the troublemaker, but it kind of became like that I'm the troublemaker. It wasn't my intent. So I'll end this video and I'll see you again. Goodbye. Bye-bye.